Have you ever woken up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. with a strange, almost unsettling feeling, like something is trying to get your attention? You might dismiss it as random or blame it on stress or your sleeping habits. But what if this is not a problem to fix, but a door waiting to be opened? What if this moment is a gift, an invitation to uncover a deeper connection with yourself, the universe, and even the mysteries of life? Today, we're going to explore why this happens, and more importantly, what you should do when it does. In this video, I'll show you how waking up during these hours isn't an inconvenience or a coincidence. It's an extraordinary opportunity. You'll learn why this seemingly odd timing is sacred, and I'll guide you through 3 transformative actions you can take to turn this disturbance into profound moments of spiritual clarity. So, stay with me, because once you understand this, waking up at 3 a.m. will never feel the same again. Let's begin with what most people will tell you, what science and psychology have to say. Biologists explain that your body operates on something called circadian rhythms, an internal clock that regulates sleep and wake cycles. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., your body is at the tail end of its deepest rest period, preparing for the day ahead. Hormonal shifts, like a slight rise in cortisol, can make you more likely to wake up during this time. Add stress, worry, or even the after effects of a late-night snack, and it's no wonder you find yourself staring at the ceiling while the world sleeps. Psychologists have their own explanations. Anxiety, unresolved emotional tension, and subconscious worries often manifest during sleep, causing interruptions. If you're carrying stress from work, relationships, or life in general, your mind may stir you awake during these hours when your defenses are at their weakest. It's as if your unconscious is saying, "Hey, pay attention to this." Now, these are valid perspectives, but do they tell the whole story? Why, despite different habits, routines, and personalities, do so many people wake at this exact window of time? That's where spirituality offers a deeper lens, a way to view this experience not as a disruption, but as a meaningful moment. In many spiritual traditions, the hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. are considered sacred, sometimes referred to as the last watch of the night. It's believed that during these hours, the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its thinnest. It's a time when the distractions of daily life are gone, the world is silent, and clarity becomes more accessible. Buddhists, for instance, regard this period as an optimal time for meditation, self-reflection, and connection with higher wisdom. Think about it. When you wake up at 3 a.m., the noise of the world is absent. There's no rush of emails, no blaring news, no endless to-do list tugging at you. It's just you and the quiet. This silence can feel eerie, but it's also incredibly powerful. It's a canvas where your mind can paint with clarity, where your heart can open without distraction. In this stillness, many believe the universe is whispering to you. It might be calling your attention to a deeper truth, a buried fear, or a dream you've been neglecting. Whatever it is, waking at this time isn't random. It's a spiritual nudge, asking you to listen and act. Let's revisit one of the most profound and symbolic stories in ancient scripture, the story of Jacob wrestling with God. It's a tale not just of struggle, but of transformation. A perfect metaphor for the significance of waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Jacob's life had been marked by conflict and fear. He had deceived his brother Esau, stealing his birthright and blessing. After years of living in exile, Jacob was finally returning home, but was terrified of facing his brother's wrath. This fear weighed heavily on him, and as night fell, he found himself alone by the Jabbok River, consumed by his thoughts. In the stillness of the night, a mysterious figure appeared, a being often interpreted as an angel or even God in human form. Without a word, a wrestling match began. It wasn't a quick or easy fight. The struggle lasted all night, through the darkest hours. Jacob wrestled not just with the figure, but also with his inner turmoil, his guilt, fears, and longing for redemption. As dawn approached, the figure touched Jacob's hip, dislocating it. In immense pain, Jacob still refused to let go. "I will not let you go unless you bless me," he demanded. This tenacity was remarkable. Jacob wasn't just fighting for survival. He was fighting for transformation, for a new identity, for a way to move forward. Recognizing Jacob's determination, the figure gave him a new name, Israel, meaning he who struggles with God. This moment marked a turning point in Jacob's life, a direct encounter with the divine that left him physically changed but spiritually renewed. His wrestling wasn't just a struggle, it was an invitation to step into a new version of himself, one aligned with purpose and divine will. This story holds deep relevance for anyone who wakes up in the stillness of 3 a.m. These moments of wakefulness can feel like our own wrestling match, confronting fears, doubts, or unresolved issues. But just like Jacob, if we engage with the struggle instead of avoiding it, we might discover profound blessings. These early hours are an invitation, a chance to wrestle with the unknown, to seek clarity, and to emerge transformed. So, when you find yourself awake in the quiet hours, ask yourself, what blessing is waiting for you on the other side of the struggle? So when you wake up at 3 a.m., what should you do? Most people roll over, groan, and force themselves back to sleep. But I encourage you to approach it differently. Let this moment be a practice. Start by gently observing yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your physical sensations. Then, allow yourself to lean into 3 powerful actions that can transform this hour into something profound. The first thing to do is to reflect on your dreams. Before you fully wake, try to recall the images and feelings lingering from your subconscious. In Buddhism, dreams are often seen as messengers, carrying insights from your mind and spirit. They might highlight patterns in your thinking, unresolved emotions, or even provide guidance for your waking life. If your dreams feel vivid or symbolic, ask yourself, what might this mean for me right now? Writing these down can be incredibly helpful, even if you don't understand their meaning immediately. If your mind feels too foggy to piece together your dreams, don't worry. Shift your attention to your breath. In the quiet of 3:00 a.m., meditation can be incredibly grounding. Sit comfortably, let your body relax, and simply breathe. Feel the coolness of the air entering your nose and the warmth as it leaves. In this stillness, you might notice thoughts arising, memories, plans, or worries. Don't push them away. Instead, observe them like clouds passing in the sky. This practice in Buddhism is called shamatha, or calm abiding meditation, and it helps you connect to the present moment. As the world remains silent, this is also a perfect time to tune into your heart. Listen, not with your ears, but with your inner awareness. Ask yourself gently, what is this moment teaching me? In the quiet, answers often come, not as words, but as a sense of knowing, a subtle nudge toward a deeper truth. Finally, as the moments of clarity emerge, speak from your heart. You might offer a prayer, an affirmation, or a mantra. For instance, you could say, "May this day be filled with peace and wisdom. May my actions bring compassion to those I meet." May I walk this day with clarity and purpose. In Buddhism, this is a practice of dedication, aligning your intentions with a greater good. By speaking these words, you're not just shaping your day, you're creating ripples of positive energy that extend beyond yourself. When you wake up at 3 a.m., you are not just awake, you're being invited into something profound. Whether you interpret it through the lens of biology, psychology, or spirituality, the message is the same. This is a moment of possibility. It's a chance to reflect on your life, connect with your deeper self, and align with your purpose. These moments remind us that life's interruptions are often its greatest teachers. Instead of fighting against them, what happens when we embrace them? When we see them as opportunities instead of obstacles? The practice of waking, reflecting, meditating, and affirming is simple, but its impact can be profound. Buddhist teachings often emphasize the beauty of the present moment, that even in the middle of the night, there is wisdom to be found. Waking at 3 a.m. might seem inconvenient, but it's also a reminder that your life is filled with invitations to grow. You just have to accept them. So the next time you find yourself awake at 3 o'clock a.m., don't resist it. Don't roll over and grumble. Instead, see it as a call, a sacred opportunity to pause, reflect, and realign. Remember, life doesn't always give us clear invitations, but when it does, we should take them. Let this hour be your teacher. Reflect on your dreams, sit with your breath, and speak from your heart. These simple practices can transform not just your night, but your entire life. And as you step back into your day, you'll carry with you the clarity, peace, and purpose that come from embracing these quiet, sacred moments. Have you ever wondered what your dreams are trying to tell you? Or how these nighttime awakenings could connect to something greater? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're curious about how morning rituals can shape your day, check out our channel. You'll find so much more waiting for you there. See you soon.